Okay, everybody, today's date is March 23rd, 2021. My name is Leslie Williams. I live in San Diego, California, within the community of La Jolla. Now, this is going to be a very short video because I'm running my own schedule today and I still got a lot to do. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you basically some things that let me get up here for a second, and I got to be very careful. Let's see if this video doesn't publish. Let's see if it gets frozen. I'm experiencing a lot of cell phone hacking, I'm experiencing cell phone hacking for sure. And am I experiencing a lot of intermittent, but very frequent, cell phone signal jamming? Google all my statements to gang stalking. So I wanted to show you this. What I've been doing for the last couple days is I've been getting out. I got 2 sets of bike panniers that go on the back rack of my new bike. This bike is about 4 months old. It still looks like about 95% in brand new condition. It's got a little bit of rust on it because I got caught in rain a few times and when it wasn't able to take care of it like I would if I wasn't a victim of this crime. And that's a long story too. But anyways, okay, so this is the back rack, and it's locked up with a cable. There's the front rack. It's locked up with a cable. Okay, front rack right there. It extends out there. And then the bike is locked up with a big, gigantic cable with the combination lock. All that is brand new too. Now, what I did here was I bought some Velcro straps through Amazon in order to be able to put some water on the bike. Okay, so when I start my new hiking area strategy, I can use the bike also as a vehicle for transportation of water, because this crime of gang stalking intentionally made me homeless from 4 apartments in Michigan at least, and 1 in Tennessee. So I've discussed that in many videos, in YouTube videos, and in Periscope videos dedicated to 5 separate Periscope accounts. So this is an update video pertaining to, one, I like to showcase the fact that I got this new bike. I will be buying some either camouflage and or lime green and or charcoal gray paint to paint this bike. I've discussed why I'm going to be doing that in prior videos, so I'm not going to elaborate on that. It's going to assist me in camouflaging the bike so when I'm at wooded areas. Gang stalking is well known to stage events they stage events as a result of illegal tracking, which is the stalking of gang stalking. So they can gang up on you, including just using one person per stage event who is privately colluding with the individuals who is using them. Okay? And so that's the gang of gang stalking, but that's not the entire scope of the gang of gang stalking. It's not stalking by, street gangs. So don't get confused about that. Okay, so anyway, so as a direct result of me being made homeless from several apartments in Michigan and 1 in Tennessee and being gang stalked to 4 states, and interstate stalking is a federal crime. Oh, absolutely. But anyways, I just decided that there's no point in spending thousands of dollars in re-renting apartments that I'll just end up losing again. Think smart and think clear. How was I gang stalked from Michigan to San Diego in 2006, back to Michigan, then from Michigan to Tennessee, then back to Michigan, then from Michigan to Connecticut, and then from Connecticut to San Diego. I mean, so if they're going to go through all that and it's subjecting me to massive gang stalking, community-based harassment along all my routes in all these states except for Tennessee, I only experienced minor community-based harassment in Tennessee because I went there and left there in a very short time period. Okay? And so anyways, I've been subject to nonstop massive community-based harassment in Connecticut, Michigan, San Diego's in 2006 and in 2000 since 2011 when I re-arrived in San Diego from Connecticut, along all my routes, every single place I went and every single place that I've lived. Every single place. So do you honestly think they would not gang stalk me if I rented an apartment, a motel room, or a room for rent, and then make me homeless from there again? Because that's part of the program of gang stalking. So why go through all those thousands of dollars and suffer all that when I would just end up back out on the street? So just Google my descriptions extensively with a patient posture, okay, and you will see truth, because they're doing this to hundreds of thousands of Americans all over America. Tens of thousands of those are reporting this crime online. So anyway, and they will also stage vehicle accidents, which is why I don't even bother even thinking about buying a car, because I lost at least 2-3 cars in Michigan. Oh, absolutely, because of staged vehicle accidents. So just Google the hell out of all my descriptions. So anyways, I bought a bike, and they've already wrecked 2 bikes out here and stole 1. Oh, absolutely. And I went through thousands of dollars in camping gear, clothes, and everything since 2011. Oh, absolutely. So just, well, I went through hundreds and hundreds of dollars in camping gear and clothes, but I've spent thousands in replacing things and surviving this crime, exposing it, and staying safe concerning it. So, anyways, okay, so let me get back to the main reason why I wanted to make this video. I'm showing you this bike because once this bike gets camouflaged, I might not be able to paint it before Periscope doesn't allow anyone to continue to live broadcast as of March 31st, 2020. So you want to pay attention to the Higgins Williams YouTube account by going to Google and typing in at Google, Higgins Williams YouTube account, gang stalking, Leslie Williams, and so on. And you should be able to find the videos through Google, and then you can click on them through Google, as well as Exposing Court YouTube channel. Now, I don't think I have any of those YouTube channel videos labeled yet, but be patient. You should be able to find them. And in this account, I have many of my links concerning my blog, my Twitter account, and evidences pasted within the title of Periscope videos. And when you go into my blog, your mind is going to be blown. You should go into this account and look at the videos that expose my blog, because it's going to help you through the descriptions learn how to navigate through the blog. Okay? Just trust me on all that. Trust me, you absolutely want to watch the videos dedicated to this account. And you want to definitely go to my blog and my Twitter account. So anyways, now I'm still going to be able to make Periscope videos through Twitter, but they're not going to be able to be saved to my Periscope account. So you'll still be able to see some Periscope video links that you can open up through this, through my Twitter account by using your Periscope account, but I'm not going to be able to link those Periscope videos to my Periscope account. So just trust me, you're going to have to open up a Twitter account in order to be able to make videos through Twitter that end up having Periscope links. And then if you have a Periscope account, when you click on those links, like when you see them in one of my tweets or in my blog, you can then open them up through your already created Periscope account. So that's that, and let's move forward. Now, what I wanted to do today, I've been spending all day today. I now got 2 sets of bike pannier bags for the back, and they're basically just saddle bags that you buy for the bike. And I got 2 sets. I bought the second set because it had more features on it for room for packing than the first set did, but that's okay because I really didn't lose much. I think I only spent $23 or $29 on the first set, and they've come in very handy for grocery shopping and water hauling, and they can always be used as a backup set in case these satanic rats steal my current one that I will be using practically on an everyday basis once I move from this particular location. Let me show you a landmark here so you'll know where I'm at, in case they stage any event at this area before I leave from it permanently. Now, what you got to understand here is that the satanic rats, the mass murdering, human trafficking, rape, and whores who host this crime, I've already been gang stalked to 30 different wooded areas just in the past year and a half. Okay, so I already know they're going to gang stalk me to every single wooded area that I utilize, whether it's a wooded area that's utilized for only a day, a week, okay, or less. Okay, because when I start this new hiking area strategy, I'm going to be constantly moving. So we're going to see if they do anything to this bike. So let me show you a little bit more about the bike. You can see the front bike brakes, the front bike brakes are still there. And I'm showing you this because they literally broke them off a brand new bike I bought back in 2018 within a week of me buying it. Absolutely. Then they started engaging in the gang stalking technique of blocking when I would approach intersections and driveways, leaving business plazas, so I would collide in with people and or fall off the bike. You break a toe or wrist or whatever, or you end up in the hospital, and there goes your insurance fraud schemes connected to gang stalking. Okay? Which is also an additional reason why they're staging vehicle accidents. They mostly stage vehicle accidents, I believe, so that when they finally make the victim homeless, the victim will not have a car to sleep in, the victim will not have a car to move their property around in, to go to lawyers, and so on. So there's one technique connected to this crime can have multiple motives. So let's move forward. So let me just show you the new bike panniers I bought. Okay, and the other set is over there, right there where you see that white stripe, and then the Alice pack. I got 2 of those Alice packs. And now, this bag right here, it folds out to where it looks like a briefcase. And what this does is that it enables you, it's flat and it's really wide. So what it does is that once you pack the the backpack. Once you pack these bike panniers that go on the back rack, and then you put them on and you rest them on the back rack itself, they fold over like saddlebags. And I got a lot of stuff out today and packed it up so I could see what would be able to fit in what, and if I had enough room for my stuff, and if I had any extra room, so then what additional stuff could go in it. So that's what I've been doing all day, and trust me, it took work. So, you know, these are going to be used for my sleep system. You'll understand why I'm telling you all this in a minute. This is going to be used for my sleep system, and I've been fortunate enough as of right now to where most of the stuff for my sleep system, except for the sleeping bag, which will be attached with some hooks onto my backpack, okay? And then the tent will go in the backpack, okay? Because the tent, once I take my tent down, it's extremely small, okay? So, it's just enough room for me to put my stuff in and for me to sleep in, okay? And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be waking up every friggin' morning unless I'm sick and or if it's already raining, or if it's planning on raining on that particular day, and for whatever reason I might not be in a position to pack my stuff up and leave. Now, I also got a brand new duffel bag that I bought. Okay, which I shouldn't have had to buy because I actually had a duffel bag at another wooded area that wasn't that old, but I had to leave it behind because I had to leave that area real fast, and I didn't have room to carry it with me. You would not believe the money I have spent because of these 6 satanic mass murdering human trafficking animals, okay, that host this crime. They're doing this to people all over the country, in every neighborhood, town, city, county, and state. Human trafficking is one of the biggest goals of this demonic crime. And you should research how state, county, local law enforcement and all alphabet agencies are the main implicated hosts of this crime, as well as fusion centers, which is also law enforcement. Okay, so do you find that interesting? So anyways, that bag that fits on the top of this, so if you can imagine these saddlebags already being on the back rack, and then the additional bag that came with it fits nice, because these saddlebags, what they do is they become even. Once it's put on the bike, the top of the saddlebag themselves become even, concerning the bags kind of pushing up. And then the additional bag is like a big, gigantic briefcase, and it folds. It's square, and it folds out to where you can then put a lot of stuff in it. And as of right now, it looks like I'm going to have quite a bit of extra room in my packing situation than I originally thought. And that's for 2 reasons. One, because I bought this new pannier set because of the briefcase type thing that goes on the top. It rests on the bike rack itself, and then the saddlebags go on the side. And then that green Alice pack over there is going to go on the front rack. Okay? Along with a couple other small items. Okay? Now, so, and then as a direct result of us transitioning between, we're now in spring, heading towards summer, I'm not going to need as much stuff to sleep in at night. So there's going to be some things that I'm going to leave behind, and they're going to be bagged up and to where the elements can't get to it. So when I come back to retrieve it, they shouldn't be wet. And we're going to see if anything I leave behind that's going to be hidden completely out of sight at places that nobody would even go to sit at, let alone camp at, hike out at, hang out at, or anything. So we're going to see if that shit ends up missing. And we're going to see on any and all dates when I go back to the area that's called the Octopus Tree location, which I've made many videos spread out over at least 3 separate Periscope accounts. We're going to see if there's anybody hanging out on that property, camping out, okay, or just sitting on it or whatever, or doing any work on it or around it. We're going to see if any of my property is missing, because that's occurred on a massive scale. All of it propped up through gang stalking. Okay? Now, because if you need to go back to get something to use that to survive, and there's somebody on the property, they know you're not going to approach those people. Okay? So that means you either can't go back and get it right away, or you got to wait till they leave, and also they can steal it, which they've done that as well. And they intentionally let you know that they're there because of gang stalking by employing a method for you to witness that is related to the sensitization technique of gang stalking. So when you research that, you'll understand what I mean. That's what gang stalking does. That's what these satanic fucking bitches have been doing to me practically every single fucking place I've lived at in San Diego since 2011, and I ain't taking it no more, which is why I'm developing this new hiking area strategy that should massively free up my schedule, that will then allow me to start doing some campaigning and protesting, because what these 6 satanic fucking bitches have got away with doing to me throughout the entire time since I've been here since 2011, but especially since 2017 and 18, massive exposure is coming. Now, we're going to see how often I come down massively sick, including being so sick to where I got to go to the hospital. Okay, or if I end up with any fucking major health maladies. Anyone at any time can go to Google and type in directed energy weapons and gang stalking, ultrasonic sound bone conduction, gang stalking, remote neural monitoring and gang stalking, and torture and gang stalking. Okay, and you should also go to YouTube and type in Roger Tulsis electronic harassment. He's openly stating that they're using this technology on people for many reasons, and he openly has stated in many of his videos that one of the main reasons why it's being used is to make victims so sick that they can't get up and protest. Because the government knows what it's fucking doing to you. So it's there to torture you through this crime if the victim is experiencing that technology. And then through remote neural monitoring and other means, they can see if you're doing anything that allows them to be able to know that you're going to react to it by maybe protesting. They will then hit you so bad with that technology to where you're just endlessly sick. Where you can't even literally get up to go to the bathroom. That's how bad this technology is. Oh, absolutely. Make no mistake about it, just research my statements. So, I wanted to show you that I got this property. Now, the brand new duffel bag in it that I got here, it's going to be used to carry things like heat warmers, cooking utensils, food, extra water, okay, and additional support material. Now, by the time I get everything on this bike, and additional things that got to be put in the backpack that wouldn't be put there, and then carrying the duffel bag and then the Alice pack on the bike, that bike is going to weigh well over 130 pounds, an easy 130 pounds. So imagine pushing that up and down hills. Okay? Imagine picking it up and taking it off buses. Okay? Imagine them hitting you in the back and or chest with directed energy weapons, so you're so sick you can barely breathe, and so your back and chest is aching, along with your heart, while you gotta fucking move. Carrying all this shit, if that's what they're doing to me in part. Because these 6 satanic bitches, remote neural monitoring allows these filthy whores to know everything you're processing. Okay? Them watching your internet activity allows them to see that you're buying this shit through Amazon, so they know what you're gonna do. Them watching your videos gives them the information about what you plan on doing. So if you say on Twitter, I'm about ready to move in 3 days, do you think that they would start hitting you in the back and the chest with direct energy weapons so you can barely breathe? So your back and chest is aching so bad to where you can barely get up, let alone having to carry all this shit? I make these statements because of information needs to be forwarded to you that will soon be on the internet. I got to put it creatively. It's a wide-known fact within the gang stalking victim community online that if you say directly that you're being hit with these weapons, especially if you say it frequently, these fucking 6 satanic bitches will come up with any normal appearing excuse to claim they know that where your videos are at online, stage an event, arrest you, then try and make it appear they have a normal appearing or reason to incorporate that video within court proceedings, and then claim you're crazy for your statements. Go to Google and look at how they're intentionally, criminally, falsely diagnosing victims of gang stalking with schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, delusional disorders, bipolar, and the whole 9 yards. Because that's where a lot of medical insurance fraud schemes are occurring, including through illegal probate control schemes as well. And that's how they discredit the truth that the target might be telling to anybody on any date by labeling the victim as mentally ill, and that includes on paper. So just the psychiatric reprisal is one of the biggest methods of gang stalking. So just Google my statements. Tens of thousands of people are reporting it, including people who are not even victims. Okay? Absolutely. And that aspect of this crime has been covered on national radio shows. Make no mistake about it. These people are nothing but the most evil, demonic bitches who have ever walked this fucking planet. Mass murdering, human trafficking, raping, torturing animals are not good people. People who are out there, because this is organized crime in the system, people who are out there committing all these mass human rights abuses. Even the United Nations has declared gang stalking victims as being extreme torture victims in the cyber torture report released in February and March of 2020. Okay? So, you know, do you honestly believe that a collective body of governments is going to label gang stalking, organized stalking victims as being extreme torture victims for no reason if nothing's going on? Think smart. Okay? So this research extensively directed at energy weapons, electromagnetic weapons, ultrasonic sound bone conduction, voice to skull with voice morphine, remote neural monitoring, torture, and gang stalking, and you'll see truth. Because this shit is all over the internet. It is all over the internet. So, anyways, so once I start moving, my immediate goal will be to look for properties that definitely have no homeless people on it. And that's another thing they've done. They wait until I pick a spot, and then if they see I've used it for more than 1 or 2 days, they'll start bringing homeless people to camp out very close by me. So now I predict, let's see if that occurs concerning anybody hiking out or camping out within 1,000 feet of me, no matter where I'm at. And that includes them propping up people at places that I've scouted. Because you're tracked in real time every day. These satanic rats are known to place people in vans, cars, and trucks. And then, so, like say if you went and scoped a place on June 1st. Okay? And then you say, okay, well, you say to yourself, okay, well, maybe I can use this place down the road. And then, if they see you're moving from one place, and then when you leave that place and you're heading in the direction of the place you scouted, they can drop people off at that place to be camping there so you can't use it. So then, your choices are being bottlenecked, at least for that night. That's how bad gang stalking is. Why do you think they call it gang? Because it's more than one person engaging in a whole vast amount of techniques and methods and tactics, all of it against the victim and the victim's property and their lives as a direct result of illegal tracking and massive criminal surveillance. Surveillance of all forms, including remote neural monitoring. Okay, so it's my intention to expose to the world what I have been and am enduring and what I possibly could be enduring. Okay, so, and the money I've spent in the purchases through Amazon just in the past year and a half trying to get this new hiking area strategy off the ground is massive in itself. Because I wasn't able to move from the Octopus Tree location in the way that I wanted to, because when I started really posting on Twitter saying I'm a week away from moving, they started massively staging events. You know, I posted a tweet on Twitter, I'm 2 weeks away from moving, I'm a week away from moving. They started staging massive events, causing me to move faster, which caused a lot of disorganization, and it caused a lot of problems. So when I then moved from that area, I still did not have everything I needed to start employing the new hiking area strategy, and because of the massive targeting that immediately started once I moved. Okay? And then I moved again, and so far then at this spot, it hasn't been as bad as it was at the other spot, but it's starting to get there. Now, if they're using any of these weapons, does it take them a certain amount of time if they're using, because they got from what the internet's saying, they got about anywhere between 19 and up to even 30 different modes of perpetration that's reported that they use in order to affect the mind and body using the different texts that they use. So that's one of the good things about being homeless, because the moving around can cause, like, say if they have one platform that they want to use against you, but since you're moving around, that platform is not viable for that day or for 4 days in a row. Okay? Because the other platforms might not be available against that victim on those 4 days. Okay? But you should also know planes, helicopters, drones, satellites are 4, and Gwen towers and radio towers are 5 of the main implicated things that are being used to perpetrate this sick bitch tech. Please excuse my language. As well as neighbors in neighbor houses, condos, apartment complexes, and more. And plus they got a lot of portable stuff. Now, I pasted in the title of this Periscope video a link that an individual put on Twitter, I believe it was today, concerning human rights bills that are being introduced in order to protect people from this technology, and concerning neural weaponry, because hold on a second. See, there's a bunch of these little things flying around. I don't know how well you can see them right now. There's a bunch of white little things flying around because it's budding right now. There's one of them right there. I think one just got my throat, so let me get some water. And when these things get in your throat, they scratch your throat like you would not believe. They tickle your throat, and that causes you to immediately cough. They come off of these things right here. See, there's one right there flying around. It just landed. Hold on. And there's so many of them, the ground is already starting to look like it's white. I don't know how well you can see it from here, but... Alright, so anyways. So, when you look at how gang stalking victims, a part of the human trafficking victims are enduring has to do with victims being sold into non-consensual human experimentation projects. But make no mistake about it, there's also... Victims are also ending up in sexual slavery and in labor slavery as well. Okay, so, that's in part what the cyber torture report was about from the UN. The neural weaponry that's being used on victims, along with the directed energy weapons and the electromagnetic weapons. So, okay, so there's the link that I pasted in the title of this Periscope video. It has to deal with a bill that's they're trying to introduce, or already has been introduced. I don't know if it's been passed into law or not. Hold on. And what you want to do, it is, you want to copy down the URL characters and then type them in at your URL address bar. In fact, you can just even go to Google, too, and type in Bill Proposals Against Neural Weaponry, N-E-U-R-O, okay? And that's got to do with the brain, brain, neuronal activity, okay? And so, anyways, I strongly advise you copy and paste the URL characters I pasted in the title of this Periscope video into your address bar, okay, and then bring the article up, and then you should also know that there's a PDF link. There's a link in it that allows you to download that as a PDF article, and I think the article is bigger, the PDF article is bigger than the original article. I already done it, and I scanned it, and I could tell there was enough in it concerning what some of the things, at least some of the things you need to know. Now, all gang stalking victims who are being experimented on, every bit of that has to do with torture. And we're talking about extreme sadistic torture, and part of that torture can include the electromagnetic weapons. Now, do you really believe that any government entity, corporation, or them all three and more working together, including to do this to a victim, do you really believe they're ever going to tell the truth? They will fucking kill you and then claim you died of any other matter, just to cover it up. Just to cover up what's been done to you. Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat. They won't hesitate. In a heartbeat. These are the most satanic, sadistic, criminally insane, demented freaks that have ever walked this planet. And I've seen doctors and scientists say this about these wild animals. So you guys better research this right away, because gang stalking is a literal epidemic in America. It is a literal epidemic. Oh, absolutely. Anybody can be put on the list. Okay? Oh, absolutely. Alright, hold on one second. Let me light my cigarette, because I'm trying to take care of two things at once. Now, the main goal for the bike hiking is just to carry with me what is needed to sleep in and to stay warm, and the tent, and water, and enough food for 1 or 2 days, and that's it. Because once I get this new hiking area strategy off the ground in the way that I want to, which can maybe even take up to another month, because I'm still going back to the Octopus Tree location to retrieve property and take it off there and bring it onto other properties, because did they intentionally do some extreme landscape work already around that property, revealing that property more open to people. And when I went back there last time, some of my property was conveniently all laid out, along with some calling cards that were intentionally placed there, that had been placed at least 7 different wooded areas. Okay, that I went to after I left the Octopus Tree location for a while back in 2019. It's their private way of letting you know that they got your property out and set it out. Okay, and now that they did the landscape work and that opens up the entire area to be seen from the road, anybody at any time can see your property. Oh, geez, will my shit be stolen? That's done to make you anxious about going back and retrieving it all, okay, before it does. Okay, absolutely. You gotta understand something about gang stalking. Fear induction is one of the main things happening in gang stalking. Now, is that related to remote neural choreographing connected to remote neural monitoring? Because you gotta remember, the thing they're doing at a place that the victim has the victim been victimized through that tech on that property. So that means then, if that's so, they got people in the area that are using the tech against the victim when the victim's on the property. So when the victim goes there and experiences it and sees what they're seeing, that's going to produce the fear, and then as remote neural monitoring, and it also creates brain entrainment as well, and I'm not going to get into that in this particular video. Brain entrainment has been thoroughly discussed in this account, so just go into this account and you'll understand, okay? Now, so anyways, let me light this cigarette. Hold on. kind of windy right here. So I'm actually even strongly considering stopping smoking. I've cut down on my smoking by 40%. Okay, and I plan on taking it to at least 70% here within the next month. Okay, so, that's a good thing. So anyways, what I'm going to be doing concerning my new hiking area strategy is this. Once I really get it off the ground, I will only be on wooded area properties when I'm either sick, which they can easily make you sick instantly, literally, okay? And just to interject one more fast statement concerning that, I've literally seen videos. Go to Google and YouTube and type in Dr. Eric Karlstrom. Okay, the 2 hypothesis, Brian 2, ex-DOD contractor. Anyways, I've seen Dr. Eric Karlstrom's interview online where he said they made him so sick he had to crawl from his bed to the bathroom for 2 full months straight. Because think about it, if they can hit you with which they do, when they hit you with electromagnetic weapons and direct energy weapons, they can make you instantly sick to the point to where you can't even get up to go to the bathroom, let alone cook something to eat or go somewhere to get water if you're running low on water. Okay? What did I experience after I moved from the Octopus Street location? I was deathly sick for 5 days. I lost control of my bowels and my bladder. Okay? I had to literally order food to be delivered, and I had to get up and go across the street from that place, okay, and pick it up because I had to get water delivered to me. It was the only place that would deliver water with food. I was so sick, I couldn't even, you wouldn't believe what I went through just to go across the street from that place to pick up the order when the person delivered it. That's how sick I was. And that was after the 5th day. I spent 5 full days doing nothing but laying down, sleeping, while I was experiencing extreme horrific torture. To the point where my bladders and bowels involuntarily released themselves. These people are demonic mass murdering animals. It's all they are. Alright, hold on. So once I get the new hiking area strategy off the ground, that's the first time I've exposed this. If any of my statements about electromagnetic weapons, remote neural monitoring, voice to skull, or anything is ever used against me in court, every single person that processes the paperwork of it, every single person that does it in court, including the judge, any police officers and doctors affiliated with courts and or jails, will be directly connected to and controlled by this organized crime syndicate that's in the system, that's doing this crime, that's human trafficking hundreds of thousands of victims right now into it all across America for the same crime motivations and much more. So always remember my statements. Why do you think there's all these victims and not one has ever won a lawsuit? Because they're protecting every bit of it. They got to. Otherwise, lawsuits starts. When people win lawsuits, they become precedents for other victims to use to prove it's happening to them. Why do you think they're not allowing this crime? Why do you think that alphabet agencies show up in court and say, we cannot comment whether this is happening or not due to classification purposes, which is a crime in and of itself? To classify information to conceal a crime is a federal offense. Google the hell out of that. Hold on. Okay, so anyways, once I get the new hiking area strategy off the ground, what I'm going to be doing is that when I'm not sick, and it's not raining or projected to rain for that day, like say if I will arrive at a wooded area, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit there, and I'm not going to look for a place to hitch my tent up until an hour or two before it gets dark. And then even if I find a place, I might not potentially use that particular spot. I might use a spot that's 1,000 feet away from it. Because if I wait till the last second to set up my tent, if they're targeting me with this tech using any or one or two or more ways to know where I'm at so they can target me at night, because targeting while you're sleeping is another main time they target you. Well, if they don't have that available resource to target me at that spot in real time on that night, then that's one less night I'm being hit with it. Okay? And then I get up the next morning, take everything down, and then on days where I might continue to use that property but not that immediate area that I used that night before, what I'll do is just pack up my sleeping bag and stuff and put it in a garbage bag and hide it, and then come back to it after I go do a grocery run and a water run, and then pick up my stuff and go to another spot on that property. By then, they already got my general area already graphed. Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something about gang stalking. One time I was on a specific wooded area property that's directly on the same property as this property, and I made a statement in a video file through my camera, a separate camera, not a phone camera, a physical camera. Hold on. And this was in 2016. I was sitting at a spot, and I made a statement in my tape recorder, because I wear a running recorder and digital tape recorder on me at all times, in case they decide to stage an event towards me. And they will use anybody of any age and any type of person for a staged event, including property owners, including at entrances and exits. Okay, so anyways, just Google my statements, sweethearts. I know this is a lot to digest, but just Google my statements. So, I was at a wooded area that's on the same property as this one in 2016. And I was going to leave the spot I was at to go to another spot where I had some property hidden at. So I made a statement in my tape recorder as I was making a video file through my camera, saying I'm getting ready to go to another spot. It's about 120 feet away. Let's see if anybody approaches me, harasses me, assaults me, try to take anything from me. Let's see if you hear gang stalk, oh my God, suck dick, because that's what they're saying around me along my routes. It was just caught a few days ago when I went to Bonds again. Okay, that's related to the sensitization technique of gang stalking, repeating words and phrases, repeating identical words and phrases. Google my statements. So, okay, so and those statements were made in the video file, and then they were made and they were also recorded on my tape recorder. So then as soon as I got done making the video file, because I had already had everything packed up and ready to walk right over there. So as soon as I got done making the video file, I picked up my bike, which already I had my backpack right there. I had the duffel bag already next to my bike handlebar. As soon as I got done making that video, I picked up my duffel bag and backpack and walked immediately over there, sat down, and within 3 seconds, bicyclists went right behind me and said, suck dick and gang stalk. Okay? Now, the video file, I might have had to have erased because I was very short on video time on that memory card dedicated to the camera. But I still got the audio file. Okay? And every single bit of harassment I've caught on 8,600 audio files, all that harassment, identical verbal harassment, okay, which I just told you what it was, all that verbal harassment was predicted by me that it would be caught in the environments that it was caught at before I got there. Tape recorders run by date and time. If I predict in a tape recorder I'm going to Ralph's grocery store at 9 a.m. at a wooded area and then leave the wooded area and the tape recorder is still recording and I arrive at Ralph's at 10 and it said upon arrival at Ralph's and maybe even at the bus stop or on the bus route going to Ralph's, do you honestly think I wasn't tracked in that wooded area along my routes and or to Ralph's? I obviously had to be tracked along my routes in order to proper people to say it once I got to Ralph's. Either buying through people who are already there or people who arrive after I do. So that shows the tracking of gang stalking in order to gang up on you to harass you. Caught on 8,600 audio files. That's massively exposed on my blog. And my blog's URL link is in a video I just made in the last 7 days. In a Periscope video I just made dedicated to this account. So baby cakes and sweethearts, go into this account, watch my videos, follow my instructions, and you'll see truth. And by the way, the repeating of words and phrases and propping up identical sounds for a victim, that's got to do with auditory brain entrainment. And the only reason why brain entrainment is occurring in gang stalking crimes, visual and auditory brain entrainment, is directly connected to remote neural monitoring. Absolutely. So when you bring up the link in the title of this Periscope video, you're going to see that this crime is so bad concerning the neurological and biological experimentation, which 100% of that has to do with torture. It's so bad that they're even trying to pass bills in several states. Who's controlling the media so you don't hear about this on the national and local news? Who's controlling the media? Alright, so anyways, I'm sorry I'm being a little bit facetious there, but anyways, alright, hold on a second. Or a little bit sarcastic, should I say. So this bag pulls out into a big briefcase. It's wider than this. It's a lot wider than this. And it's probably about at least 1.5 feet, 2.5 feet long. And it fits right on top of the back bike rack. So I'll be putting like maybe a change of clothes and that, and just support material. And this actually, excuse me, this new pan here, man, these white things are flying all over the place. They got caught in my throat yesterday, and I went into an immediate cough reaction. Okay, because they get down into your throat, and then, because when you're breathing in, it inhales it down into your throat, and then it tickles it like you wouldn't believe. So this right here is going to have my, as of right now, it's going to have a CVS blanket I got. It's going to have a bed liner, and then it's got a gray sweatshirt. And this other one on this side has got, well, this one's got this gray sweatshirt and the snow pants, okay? And then I wear leg warmers, okay, and a pair of pants underneath the snow pants. And then this gray sweatshirt goes in this one. And then in this one, I got 3 sweatshirts, a CBS blanket, and the bed liner. And then the sleeping bag is going to go attached onto my backpack. And everything's brand new. Even the backpack's brand new. It's not even a week old. I just bought another a brand new backpack. I just bought it at the same time I bought that duffel bag. I also got a water bladder that goes into a small chest backpack. So the water bladder, I think it carries 2 liters of water. So that's going to go on the chest, and then I'm going to put water on the bike, and then the water is also going to go in the duffel bag, because if I can carry water with me, even though I'm not going to spend more than a day and a half at a wooded area, the longer I spend at a wooded area enables them to hit me constantly with any weapons they're using on me. Okay? Constantly. You're a sitting duck. That means they're affecting your health in extremely bad ways, for extremely long time durations, which accelerates the rate of how soon you'll come down with cancer, okay, and other health maladies. So I got to get the fuck off wooded area properties, okay? Now that means they're going to probably also start staging more events against me along my routes. If I leave a wooded area and go and sit somewhere to try and be by myself, these little 6 satanic fucking bitches will prop up homeless people to approach you, using normal apparent excuses to do so. Do you got a light? Do you know what time it is? Do you know where this road's at? Okay, do you got change? Do you know where the bus stop's at? Okay, do you know where store's at? Okay, and then if you ignore them, they use that as an excuse to go off on you. I've been brutally assaulted physically 9 times since 2011 in San Diego. 9 times. Okay? And all those assaults were predicted as well. One in an email file, one in a video file, and all of them in my tape recorder. Before the assailant reached my environment and did the assault. Absolutely. Before the persons were even in my physical presence, they were predicted. Okay? So do you really think that's an accident? Okay? These sick bitch satanic mass murdering animals are out there staging rapes, gang rapes of men and women all over America. They're human trafficking all victims. Okay, in one or more forms of human trafficking. And remember, the non-consensual human experimentation is a form of human trafficking, because what's being done to the mind and body of a victim when they're enduring the electromagnetic weapons, the directed energy weapons, the ultrasonic sound bone conduction, the voice to skull, which can also be used for auditory brain entrainment, the remote neural monitoring is monitoring the brain and body as it's responding to the torture. And then that's research data. They're then taking that data and fucking selling it to medical groups. How soon does it take for Greg to come down with cancer if we hit the brain, heart, lungs, and organs with directed energy weapons and electromagnetic weapons and EMF fields and plasma weapons and X-ray weapons? Okay? And then they take that fucking data and sell it to research groups, including hundreds of them, and make money off of fucking our torture. This is how bad this crime is. They'll break the brakes on your bike and then prop up an asshole to cut you off on a fucking road or in a business parking lot, so you fall off the bike and break your leg and ankle, okay, your wrist, your fingers, your feet, and then there goes part of the insurance fraud schemes connected to gang stalking. Okay? Which is why I predict what they're going to do with this bike, including the theft of it, flattening of tires. I went through probably over $250 in replacing inner tubes and bike tires since 2011. Okay? And this is what your sick bitch demonic SDPD, SDSD, and UCSD police, SDSU police, USD police allowed for me to go through out here in San Diego so far since 2011. I can't stand the motherfuckers. I pray to God they get busted one day. Oh, I wouldn't be going through today's crimes connected to this crime. I would not be homeless if it wasn't for this crime. If it wasn't for law enforcement's connection to this crime. Who's controlling cops? Okay? So anyway, this right now, as of right now, these panniers are going to be used for my. So I want you to know, I got snow pants that I sleep in. This is a blue CBS blanket that I bought, and trust me, I got sleeping bags and other blankets and stuff hidden at other areas. They're stealing them. You wouldn't believe what I've had to go through to fucking to protect my property, including it being stolen through the police, like San Diego Park Rangers. Oh, absolutely. Alright, so anyways, please excuse my language. So that's the snow pants and the CBS blanket, which is a good blanket, actually. And then sleeping bag liner goes in this can here. And then the sweatshirt and the gray sweatshirt that's actually a sweatshirt parka. It's got the hoodie on it, and then two other sweatshirts are on the bottom of this one. And then I can fit in more additional stuff in here, like extra socks, underwear, and I just bought another bunch of clothes from Amazon, like sweatshirts. I'm sorry, undershirts, bras, and underwear. You know, I actually bought men's underwear, and I'm going to tell you why. Don't laugh, but I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're riding this bike around a lot and you're wearing female underwear, which is usually a lot thinner, okay? Well, once your ass starts to sweat, that underwear starts riding up your butt and it starts sticking to it. So I'm constantly having to dig it out of my ass. Please excuse my descriptive language. So I discovered by buying men's cotton underwear, it doesn't happen at all. So ever since I discovered that, because when I was in Walmart, I was looking at the difference between women's underwear, and they didn't have the cotton underwear I wanted that was thick enough. So as I was in the men's department looking for men's jeans, because I usually buy men's jeans because they're more durable, you know, they can stand up to wooded area environments, the moving around, sitting around, and stuff. I thought to myself, well, let's look at the men's underwear. And so I bought a package of men's underwear about 5 years ago, and I started riding around wearing them, riding my bike, and I've never had that problem since. So if you're a woman and you're enduring this and you're forced to use a bike, consider that. Oh, absolutely. You would not believe what I went through. Oh, absolutely, with women's underwear. So I just recently, from Amazon, I ordered some men's underwear. I ordered, let me show you something here real fast. You see that down there? That's a little gecko. It's a little lizard. See that? Okay. I feed the birds and the squirrels, and he won't eat what I attempted to feed him. And he's been hanging around me a lot lately. Hold on a second. Where'd he go? There he is right there. Check him out. You gonna say hello? Yeah, they come up within 1 foot of me because they know I ain't gonna hurt them. Yeah, see, because when you got a gecko, okay, that sits on a branch over there, and you walk up to rotate your solar panels, and he see you ain't gonna bother him. Look at, he just came towards me. Look at that, he's right towards me. You can't go that way. You gotta go the other way, honey. Go the other way. Thank you. Okay. And when they see that you're not gonna touch them, and then when that thing happens 10 times, well, they're already aware that you're not gonna hurt them, so they'll literally come right up to you. Squirrels too. All right, I gotta wrap this up because I gotta rotate my solar panels. In fact, let me get up. I don't know if I can get up and do that while I'm talking to you because they're massively interrupting my cell phone signal. I'm surprised they haven't done it in this video so far. Oh, absolutely. So, anyways, like I can spend 2 hours trying to bring up a YouTube video at this spot. 2 hours. I can spend 40 minutes trying to post one tweet on Twitter. Okay? I can spend 2 hours trying to make a Periscope video. Alright? Absolutely. So anyways, I want you to know I don't hang around anybody at all and never have for not even 1 second since I've been in San Diego since 2011. Why? Because social infiltration is a method of gang stalking. Look what I'm putting up with along my routes. I didn't get 8,600 audio files of massive amounts of people repeating suck dick gang stalking. Oh my God. Along all my routes. I mean, for almost 8.5 years, they were doing it nonstop at each place continually. And then when I started exposing it on a massive scale, they started easing up on that a little bit. And now they're using a lot of color coding, physical gestures, and other stuff related to the sensitization technique of gang stalking. All of that is directly related to auditory and visual brain entrainment. Okay, so anyways, so that's what I'm going to be using these for. So the only thing I'm going to really be taking with me are my battery chargers, my backpack, what I need to sleep with and stay warm. Okay, and then I got the other material that I need, like raincoat and rain poncho for days when it rains. But they see that stuff doesn't need to be carried around all day. If I go in an area that's really big, okay, and I see that there's no homeless people on it, okay, and check this out. These fucking cycles will come up on wooded area properties. Like if I'm at a certain spot where there's not a lot of flat surfaces, I already know they're coming on the property and saying to themselves, okay, because of what I've been dirt at wooded areas, strongly suggested, and I'm not going to expand on that because I ain't got time, but wooded area, San Diego, their wooded areas have got a lot of curves, a lot of slopes and valleys and stuff. So it's very hard to find a lot of places that are flat. So say if you go onto a wooded area, even though this wooded area is extremely big, you got to remember, even though it's extremely big, it's got a crevice in it for a creek. It's got a lot of vegetation. So trying to find a flat spot that's not on a curve, and then in an area that then has got a bunch of other flat spots, is very, very hard. So if they see you come up on a property and are using it for more than 1 or 2 days, they'll fucking come up on the property and scope it. And they'll say, if we start targeting this victim here in any way, it might compel that victim to get up and move. So they might then go to another spot that's flat. So if you don't think that they're not saying to themselves, let's look at all the flat spots around this immediate area. And so if we're hitting her with ultrasonic sound bone conduction, if they need to come on the property and place any emitters and antennas and possibly Wi-Fi boxes, they'll just say to themselves, well, we got a pretty good idea of how many we're going to need, okay, and where she might move to escape it if she's enduring it. Okay? Abso-fucking-lutely. And if it's a big area where there's a lot of places that might make it a little harder for them to guess where you're going to end up at, they'll start placing homeless people on the property in order to squeeze you out of all these additional places. This is literally how bad gang stalking is. Now consider this. When you go to Google and type into Google how they're running apartments above, next to, across from, and below victims, If they're going as far as renting apartments above victims, below victims, next to victims, across from victims, do you honestly think they wouldn't place a homeless person to camp right by you? To make you so uncomfortable they know you're going to move because of what they know they've done through them in the past when they brought them up at different areas? Of course they will. Because gang stalking's got to repeat identical techniques because it's connected to what? The visual and auditory entrainment. Why do you think they're using so many homeless people against victims? Because a lot of times homeless people, when you live in San Diego and in areas where there's a lot of homeless people, and you literally live there for a year or more, you're going to start saying when you go down the street in your car, that person looks like they might be homeless. Just by the way they look, they're carrying a lot of stuff. Okay, they're dressed, they're carrying a lot of stuff. They're dressed in certain ways. Maybe some might look a little bit grubby. Okay, they carry themselves in certain ways. Okay, it's very easy to spot a good majority of what homeless populations look like. Okay? I'm sorry, but it just is. I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying, go to Google and YouTube and type in videos of homeless people. Okay? And when you watch enough of them, what common denominators are you going to see in a lot of them? The way they look, how much stuff they're carrying, and so on and so forth. Well, they fucking made me homeless. So anyways, I don't hang around anybody at all and never have for a second since I've been in San Diego since August 8, 2011. Why? Because I know social infiltration, family infiltration, intimate infiltration is a method of gang stalking. Google all my statements. Okay? It's how they sexually human trafficking in Michigan through infiltration, which was brought about by and through the direct assistance of a Dearborn cop. Abso-fucking-lutely. Who will deny every bit of it and call me crazy concerning it. Of course they fucking will. Because that's part of gang stalking. So Google the law enforcement in gang stalking. See, what you gotta understand about gang stalking is that gang stalking is not gonna walk up right to you, even though they have staged events and yelled in my face, gang stalking, and gang stalking, I'm gonna fuck you up, using homeless people for it. But they already knew after that event was over that those homeless people were gonna be allowed to leave and that the police were never gonna acknowledge that it happened, even though it was caught on my tape recorder. But the point being is these satanic bitches, I'm referring to the ones who are hosting it. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get so much, incorporated within this video. These satanic whores who are hosting this ain't going to walk up to you and introduce themselves and say, hey, Leslie, we're the ones who have been managing the gang stalking of you for 5 fucking years or 9 years in San Diego. Of course not. Do you really think that they're going to admit to Class A felonies and extreme human rights abuses and much more? Of course not. But they are the ones who are privately colluding with and using businesses and the community members against you. And public employees who I've caught on video and audio saying gang stalk, oh my god, and suck dick, including right inside San Diego City Hall. Oh, absolutely. It's literally that bad. I literally got audio and video already on the internet in a YouTube video showing me catching at least 3 to 4 San Diego prosecutors and at least 2 to 3 San Diego public defenders standing right at a table in a courtroom repeating gang stalk, oh my god, and suck dick, and laughing about it. In 2015, I had already had videos on the internet showing me state that they're propping up homeless people at wooded areas to camp out 90 feet away from me who are repeating gang stalk, oh my god. I even said that on the Ground Zero show I was on, the national radio show I was on 9/17/2013. Now, once you put a YouTube video online, it's got a publish date. Once you catch San Diego prosecutors and public defenders doing it in a courthouse on your tape recorder, which one's by electronic time and date stamp, whoever got them to do it are the same people who propped up the homeless people to do it. They're the same people who propped up the people to do it at UCSD, SDSU, USD, all grocery stores, every fucking place I've been. Now, again, that's related to the sensitization method of gang stalking, repeating words and phrases, repeating identical words and phrases. If you want to see one of many playlists of this evidence, go to YouTube search box and type in M as in Mary, MTS, gang stalk, oh my God, suck my DI. And I didn't spell DICK all the way through. What I did was I used a number symbol for the letters CK of the word DICK. So go to YouTube search box and type in M as in Mary, MTS, gang stalk, oh my God, suck my DI, and then press the number symbol twice on your keyboard for the CK of DICK. And then you should be able to bring up that playlist. Bring it up, sit in a quiet room with good headphones on, and then what you want to do when you bring those videos up is you want to listen for people saying it in the background and in the background of the background. There's videos in there of it being caught at social services, Ross Grocery Store, UCSD, SDSU. Okay, USD, okay, Starbucks, Vons, UPS, okay? So do you honestly think that one collective mindset is not hosting and managing this in order so that they can then use the community members to do it? It was caught on my tape recorder by an asshole that went by on a bike on the road yesterday as I was standing right there. Literally. Alright, so anyways, so I want you to see what I gotta go through. This shit costs fucking money. This is food out of my mouth. Do you think a lying, organized crime, human trafficking, raping cop gives a shit? He don't give a fuck, including the woman cops. They don't give a flying fuck what I go through. The thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars I've had to spend since 2011 surviving this crime, buying stuff, having to replace it because of theft and damage to it. They don't give a fuck, and they never will. But they'll fucking track me to wooded areas and set me up for staged events, or they'll use public workers for it. Yeah, because they got to make it appear they're not involved. Yeah, so they'll use in-between people, between me and them. Oh, a little kid saw me. Oh, somebody saw me on the property. Oh, somebody saw me coming in and going. Oh, geez, we better call the cops. Ain't that nice and convenient? A little bit of nice staged probable cause. Because we can't have it look outwardly apparent that we're tracking her illegally to the wooded areas to set her up so we can arrest her, so we can start cataloging about how long she's been homeless. So we can later call her crazy and can't take care of herself and try to gain legal custody of her through illegal probate control schemes so they can use her for federal and state funds for racketeering schemes and insurance fraud schemes. Welcome to the gang of gang stalking, where every sick satanic little bitch plays their role. Their fucking salaries paid for through my fucking tax dollars. And yours. Now, I know that was a lot to digest. You need to go into my blog. Sweethearts and Baby Cakes and Munchkin Butts. I got every right to every single thought and feeling I have about these sick bitch, wild murdering whores. What they've done to me in my life. I wouldn't even fucking be here if it wasn't for these sick satanic rats. I lost everything that was in my apartment. Drafting tables, computers, desks, printers, scanners, printers, scanners, copiers, bedroom sets. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars of clothes. Thousands of dollars in college books. Okay? Everything in my kitchen. Everything in my living room. TVs. VCRs. I lost every fucking thing I owned down to my toothbrush. And have massively had to nonstop repeatedly replace since 2002 in 4 fucking states. I went through tens of thousands of dollars of trying to survive this crime. So now that once I start engaging in this new hiking area strategy, that should free up my schedule. And I'm going to start some massive neighborhood protesting. Now, do you honestly think they don't know I'm making these videos when tens of thousands of victims are saying online that all their internet activity is being surveilled? Do you honestly think that I'm special? Consider this. Tens of thousands of victims of this crime are saying that all their internet activity is being cyber-surveilled, sabotaged, monitored, and scrutinized, and much more. So do you think that me being a victim, am special, meaning that, do you honestly think they're not doing it to me? So if I make a video saying that as soon as I get my new hiking area strategy off the ground, I'm going to start protesting with signs saying research and Google gang stalking and directed energy weapons, and or gang stalking and mass shootings, and or gang stalking and UCSD, well, do you think that they might make me sick so I can't fucking protest? Because we can't have people that they're not using know about this crime, and half the people they're using, okay, they don't want the public to know. Like say if they're using, because they're still using UCSD students around me to this date. So say if they prop up a UCSD student to walk by me and engage in a gang stalking physical gesture related to the sensitization method of gang stalking, it doesn't mean that he's being told we want you to gang stalk her. So if I stand on a fucking corner anywhere around UCSD but not on their property with a big sign saying go to Google and type in UCSD and UCSD and Law Library, are they networking gang stalking? Those blogs are already online. All of my blogs are hacked and manipulated, but still Google it. Do you really honestly think that they want me out there exposing that? Because people who are seeing it are not people that they can identify. That means the word is getting out. A lawyer can see it. A judge can see it. A human rights activist can see it. A person from a news channel who might not be controlled can see it. Anybody can see it. Now, who the fuck does that embarrass? It embarrasses every single motherfucker. I'm sorry, let me backtrack. It embarrasses every single place and person I expose in my blog. And they fucking know it. Why do you think massive censorship is occurring in gang stalking? Phone hacking, phone jamming, blog hacking, blog manipulation, blog sabotaging, email account hacking, email deletion, faking email replies, email rerouting, phone call rerouting, okay? Why do you think all that's occurring? Why do you think mail theft, mail delayment, and mail tampering through the mail services is going on connected to gang stalking? Because these sick bitch demonic whores want to torture you, rape you, human traffic you in peace. They don't want you exposing what they're doing to you, okay, to the general public, because they know that they're using a good portion of the general public for the community-based harassment. They don't want the public to know the truth. So let's see if I start getting banned from grocery stores through staged events or staged complaints or accusations. Because then you got to go way out of your way to get your needs met. And then that takes over your schedule too. Less time and then the rest of your time when you're at a wooded area, they'll hit the fuck out of you with these weapons to make you so fucking sick to where they'll make you so sick to where you got to call 911. That way the ambulance and fire department can log that you were at a wooded area, sick out of your mind, and then they can claim that you were sick for any other reason except for that reason. So you should research hospitals, doctors, medical centers, medical clinics, ambulance services, including fire department, to gang stalking. They can kill you with this tech overnight, including while you're sleeping or when you're awake, and then claim that you died because of cancer that was untreated. And we'll do it and are doing it. Absolutely. I'm trying to tell you, my fellow American citizens, these are the most demented, satanic, demented, depraved, sadistic, wild whores that have ever walked this planet. I have literally seen scientists and doctors call them this. So do you honestly think nothing's going on? So, when I get this new hiking area strategy off the ground, which will probably take a month because I still gotta go to other areas and get property and hide it at other areas, so those areas where that property is hidden at will be more secluded than they are currently at the Octopus Tree location, because magically, right before and after I left, they started doing massive landscape work right off the road. The landscape was covering up the area. So, right before I left and right after I left, they engaged in massive landscape work at that area. And then magically had to go all the way down the fucking street, okay, so that it wouldn't look like it was personally done through me. Now, how do I know that? Because the landscape company, okay, that did it was caught saying gang stalk on a subsequent date as I was going down that road. This is a crime that wants you to know everything that's done through it is done through this crime, which is why they propped them up and had at least one or two of their workers stand right at an intersection right off the corner of that road saying gang stalk. Literally. That is no exaggeration. Literally. Sorry about that. So anyways, this is literally how That is literally how bad gang stalking is. I mean, these criminally insane whores. Remember, you're dealing with the crime that is literally running apartments adjacent to victims all over America. Is that not desperate or what? And by the way, that's being done in order to neurally choreograph the brain of the victim through remote neural monitoring, as the brain is processing the thinking responses and emotion responses based on the harassment through adjacent neighbors and or directed energy weapons attacks. Brain mapping. So go the hell out of that to remote neural monitoring and gang stalking. So anyways, I'm going to let you go. So once I start doing my new hiking area strategy, I'm only going to be on wooded area properties. I'm not going to spend no more, like say if I go to a grocery store, okay, to get water and food. I get water and food, and then I go back to a wooded area, and I hang out at one spot, and they can hit me as soon as I sit down with that technology. They can hit me as I'm walking. They can hit me as I'm walking down the fucking street. Okay? Now, yesterday when I made a video, or the day before when I made a video, I linked Techno Crime Fighters video series, video number 58, in the title of it. Now, when you bring that YouTube video up, it's actually a playlist. What you also want to do is watch episode number 57, because 57 shows Kieran Melton Stewart openly exposed amongst many others online who are openly showing them state that they also got this technology scaled down to sizes to where it can be carried in bags, briefcases, cars, putting the technology in engine blocks, so when the victim is in their car and they stop at a stop sign or a red light, they'll pull in behind the victim and then turn the technology on so it hits the victim in the back of the head and in the chest and shit. This is literally how bad this crime is. Literally. Where they got the weaponry in vehicles, backpacks, suitcases, all types of vehicles, including drones, planes, helicopters, and much more. So these assholes, these satanic mass murdering whores, when they pick you as a victim, they want to make sure that they can hit you no matter where you're at. Okay? So when I'm in a wooded area, and if I'm being hit with this technology in the ways that tens and tens of thousands of others are reporting on a daily basis, then once you're sitting down, you're a sitting duck. Even when you're standing, even when you're going, see, because they're tracking you in real time. So say if I leave a wooded area and I follow the same trail, or if I enter it and then go to exit it from the same trail, even if I only use that trail once or twice, they already know where you entered it at, and they can see in real time the trails you're taking to leave the property, and then just prop up an asshole. Like say I'm on, there's two hills on both sides of me right now. All they gotta do is prop up some satanic bitch in a fucking vehicle right up at the top of that fucking hill in a vehicle and aim that shit right down at me. Boom. Because they're vectoring you down to the foot. Literally. Literally. Okay? So don't, and then if you go into a place to where it makes it real hard for them to actually hit you, they can bring people on the property, because look at all this vegetation. There can be an asshole sitting 75 feet behind me right now, and I wouldn't even know it. And by the way, I am hearing metal clanking on this property and at other wooded areas as soon as it gets dark out. Absolutely. Okay? So you gotta understand something about these wild whores. Especially if you're a nationally recognized whistleblower like I am. Literally. Because I've been on national radio shows several times. Including about extremely sensitive issues. So if they see you went into a dead zone, or an area that makes it extremely hard for them to hit you, in concerning their other modes of perpetration, then they'll fucking bring low-life maggots on the property to fucking hit you after it gets dark out. Or even before it gets dark out, if they find brush that they can hide behind. I've seen this shit exposed on the internet, all over the internet, absolutely. Where victims are saying they're finding people fucking hiding behind their bushes. Finding people fucking hiding behind cars. Outside of windows of victims. This is how bad this crime is. These people are nothing. Because you gotta remember something. Think about this, and I literally gotta let go. How much money does a hospital or medical clinic make when they treat a broken toe, a broken foot, a broken ankle, a broken elbow, a broken leg? How much money do you think that they make over the continuous the continuous treatment of a health malady like any form of cancer, all forms of cancer? How much money? My dad died of cancer a year and a half ago. He was treated for over, I think, at least 10 years. How much money do you think hospitals and medical clinics are making off of treating the health maladies that victims are coming down with. And the great majority of the victims don't even know they're being hit with this shit, because they can hit you with this shit in incremental ways to where you just start feeling like maybe at 3 o'clock you start feeling bad, but you don't understand that you were hit between 9 and 1 with this tech, and then they hit you intermittently between 1 and 3, and that started to create an accumulative effect, and so you started feeling a little bit bad. And then they repeat the same shit 3, 4, 5 times, 7 times a week until you fucking come down with cancer. And you can be experiencing this tech without the community-based gang stalking, so you don't even know nothing's going on. Absolutely. See, the wild animals that decided to intrude upon my life, every aspect of it, to do this to me, they think that they can commit a crime against me and walk away scot-free without me exposing them. I look at it this way. These filthy whores are going to do this to me whether I expose them or not, so why not expose them? At least then you can hear the testimony of what they're doing to people. They don't have a right to do anything they're doing against any victim, even if the victim is a criminal. Because that's what our courts are supposed to be about. That's what honest, uncorrupt police are supposed to be about. Investigating a crime, and then arresting the person if there's evidence, and then allowing that person to ask for a trial if they want one or not, and then using the courts as that type of process. If the person is found guilty, you then put them in jail or whatever. You still don't have a right to even do this against a criminal if the victim is a criminal. I'm not a criminal. But you should also know the neurotech connected to this crime can neurally influence victims to commit a crime so they can then be set up. Like robbing a victim in Michigan so they had no money, creatively, intentionally leaving food stamps away from that victim. So, because they see, if they can keep your food stamps away from you, this crime through a social worker, and then they plan on robbing you right after you get paid, how are you going to feed yourself throughout the month? They've already stolen your license, so you can't go to a food bank because you need a license for that. Right? So then they can put an idea in your head through voice of skull with voice morphine to go to a grocery store and get something and steal it to get something to eat. Alright? And then set you up through the grocery store. Google them to gang stalking. Google voice to skull and voice morphine, where they can put an idea in your head in your own voice print. Well, they already know you ain't got no money because they stole it from you. Jeez, I wonder what was going on in Michigan. You know, never, always know this, my fellow American citizens. No matter what the fuck any police department ever says about me on any police report in Michigan, they're nothing but criminal fucking liars. Period. From A to Z, period. Wild animals that are out there human trafficking, thousands of victims all over the country. Okay? Alright, so when I get to wooded areas, I'll be navigating them. I'll be taking a look at them. I'll say, okay, this is where I maybe can sit for an hour and a half. Then get up and go somewhere else and sit for an hour and a half. And then wait and not even look for a spot to sleep at until maybe like an hour or two before it gets dark out. And then not put the tent up until right before it gets dark out. And then if they still target me on that fucking night, especially from an aerial direction, Google the hell out of that. Concerning the technologies connected to gang stalking. Because it's already reported online that they're using thermal imaging so they know how and where the victim's at in their homes in order to target them from outside the homes. So do you honestly think they're not using thermal imaging in planes, helicopters, and drones that they got this shit equipped on? So it won't matter where you go because they're already GPS tracking you. Okay? So if they have a hard time hitting you from a neighbor's house with directed energy weapons and ultrasonic sound bone conduction or whatever else, whatever else they want to use against you, I think all they got to do is GPS track you and feed that information to an airplane, helicopter, drone, or satellite. Google all my descriptions to directed energy weapons. These are nothing but mass murdering animals. It's all they are. It's all they'll ever be. Okay? Outside of the fact that they're involved in hundreds of crime motivations as well. So, and then at night, and then what I'll do is then pitch the tent up, sleep in it, get up the next morning, and if I decide to use that same general area for one more night, I'll just pack up my shit in a garbage bag, hide it, leave and go get groceries and water, come back to the area, and then if any homeless people are camping anywhere along my walking route, getting back to where the garbage bag is, okay, or anywhere around where the garbage bag is, it will be gang stalking. I don't give a flying fuck what is said within 1,000 feet of me before I re-enter that area, okay, or not. And that includes along all exits and entrances going back and forth to wooded areas and going back and forth to the spots. Okay? I get up then the next day. I get up and I pack my shit up. Like after I go and do the grocery run and get my water, and then that night I find a place to sleep at. Next day I get up, pack my shit up, and maybe repeat that same thing again for 1 or 2 more times. And then what I'll do then is start packing the panniers up again and move into a totally new, different spot. Okay? Because these wild, sadistic whores, when it comes to electromagnetic weapons, and I didn't mean to say because, but let me just put it to you this way. The crimes happening to gang-stalking victims through electromagnetic weapons, directed energy weapons, ultrasonic sound, bone conduction, they have already perfected it and have so many different modes of perpetration. It doesn't matter if you're walking down the fucking street. It doesn't matter if you're standing outside or inside of any business or any place you go to. They can hit you with it. Okay? It doesn't matter if you're in a library, a grocery store, a bank, a post office, riding your bike, walking your bike, sitting at a bus stop, on a bus route. Okay? It doesn't matter. They got the means to fucking hit you no matter where you're at. Okay? Because they got so many different texts and they got so many different modes of perpetration. They've done their homework. Now, do you really think they went into all that fucking work just so they can just hit one victim in America? I don't think so. Okay, so in closing, you can also go to YouTube and type in John Hall Satellite Terrorism. You can also go to Google and type in ex-CIA scientist Dr. Robert Duncan, The Matrix Deciphered. I literally got to go or I'll just keep on talking, and this is already massively eaten into my schedule. So, thank you for listening, and this is what's going to be the scoop. If any of my fucking property disappears, tents, okay, clothes, okay, sleeping bags, okay, snow pants, okay, flannel shirts that also assist in keeping me warm because sometimes it gets down to 45 degrees, 40 degrees at night in San Diego, even during the summer, okay, alright, sleeping bags, sleeping liners, pannier bags, because now that I got 2, I'll have to leave 1 behind, and on days when I go, well, I'm going to be at least carrying 1 with me at all times. So if any of my fucking property starts to disappear, these sick bitch animals know what they've done to me in the past 9 years, so they know I've had enough. They're going to have to kill me to keep me from fucking protesting. Or put me in jail. If they do both, it'll be done through staged bullshit. Because after what they've done to me, there is no motherfucking way I will not protest. And that would be done legally. So let's see what happens to me. Let's see how sick I become. Okay? Let's see how bad I become. And if I do become real sick, let's see if I can't broadcast it. Okay, through my Twitter account after March 31st, 2021, the day you can no longer live broadcast through Twitter. Through Periscope. So my Twitter handle is at the @ symbol on your keyboard, at HIGGINSGGGG. The name of the account is Neo Exposing Truth. That's all lowercase. If you have a hard time understanding how to navigate through Twitter, just Google that, and you'll find some of my tweets on Google. And then all you gotta do is click on them, and then that'll bring you right to my account. My current blog is on the profile. Watch my tweets every fucking day. I make prediction tweets about where I'm gonna go and what might occur when I go out. Alright? And then after March 31st, you can make Periscope videos through Twitter. Okay? But you just can't create any more new Periscope accounts or make videos through your Periscope accounts. Okay? Now, but it will still have a Periscope link. But check this out. Let's see if my Twitter account gets shut down for any reason. Because I'm being extremely careful about what I put on Twitter, and I'm being extremely careful about what I link on Twitter. Because massive amounts of people are getting shut off, are getting suspended from online accounts, and they're all complaining about it. Alright, thank you for listening. Everybody have a great day. Please research what I stated. I apologize if this video seemed a little bit loud or intense, or if I talked too fast for you. But I needed to get out all this information that I stated in this video. If you research what I state, you will see truth. The only way for you to see truth is by researching my descriptions and having a patient posture. I literally got to go. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to this account because I still will be broadcasting up and through March 31st. And then you should absolutely follow me on Twitter every day. And my blog also has a lot of my tweet posts in it. So, thank you for listening. Everybody have a great day. I'll talk to you later and stay tuned.